Tell me a little bit about your books and what you've been writing lately. I see you've been getting on some deep stuff, some deep topics.
You're talking about my Facebook post, right?
Yeah, I saw it in your Facebook post. I see you got a poetry page too, and there's some interesting stuff that you post. I see some, makes you think a lot.
Okay. Well, yeah. My whole angle is empowerment. I think we got a bunch of movements that kind of push dependency, and I'm trying to be the opposite of that. Empower people. So you ain't got to depend on this. You ain't got to depend on your politicians or your religion or whatever. Go back into yourself and depend on that. And that's what my books deal with that too. But I do the same thing on Facebook. It's like, for making these type of posts on Facebook, and somebody's attracted to that message, you are my audience. You're the same people who like reading my books. But I'm not writing anything presently as in a big work like a book. I finished the books that I do have. I finished writing those in my 20s. I'm 36 now, but now I'm learning the business side of being a publisher. And I plan on starting another novel later this year.
What's giving you your inspiration to write what you write?
Yeah, I'm inspired by life. First big work I completed is Secondhand. That's the play. I wrote that. I was 26 when I wrote that, and my thing with that, the inspiration behind that, dealt with a lot of black entertainment, the written black entertainment. I'm not talking about sports. I'm talking about, movies, television shows, stuff like that. It always show a bunch of buffoonery, coonery, whatever you want to call it. I was like, I wanted to write something that was black, still urban, but intelligent. So that's what I set out to do with Secondhands, and most people tell me I did a good job at that. So it make them think, it challenges them, it empowers them. You're gonna hear that word a lot talking to me. So that's what I set out to do. Now with my novel, I actually was thinking of the novel before I even wrote Secondhands, but I was really inspired to write the novel when I had my first cousin committed suicide. New Year's 2004, was it New Year's 2004? Yeah, I like to address actual issues, and mental health is something that we don't really deal with in the black community. We don't deal with it much, and in my early 20s I dealt with a lot of depression myself. So it's like, okay, let's do something that's gonna deal with that. And that was the inspiration partially behind in the background, that novel. I didn't get to sit down and start writing it until I was 29, but I was dealing with that, and it's actually a process to deal with depression. It ain't just a book about depression. It's kind of like the book that'll help lead you out of depression.
Yeah.
So that was my purpose for writing it. That was my inspiration.
What might have? Can you tell us about anything that might have happened, say, in your life or in your childhood that drove you from going on the stray road of a lot of us black Americans?
This is the time when somebody would say, my church or my pastor or something like that, but that ain't my answer. There was abundance. Now, I grew up in the hood. There was abundance of everybody, taking the quote-unquote easy road, but it wasn't easy. I mean, I know these people, it wasn't easy, and nobody in my hood blew up from doing that. But I've always been the black sheep, like in my family, in the community, so everybody was doing that stuff. I was like, I didn't want to be like everybody else. So I was more the bookworm type. I thought it was cool to get A's when everybody else didn't care nothing else about it. So I just kind of fashioned myself to be doing something different. Not because I valued education that much. It's like I couldn't be like everybody else. What was going to make me stand out? I've studied what I do for a long time, and I'm still humble. You know, I think I still got something to learn. I'm always going to be learning, but as far as the sophistication of my message and my writing skill, I'm varsity. You know, just to stick with the metaphor, I'm varsity. I'm not saying I'm Michael Jordan. I'm saying I am varsity. I know what league that I play in. I know what I'm doing. You know, I can talk about it. You know, I can sit down and do it, and I can teach it. I've been writing that long. I mean, I know literature pretty well. So, in comparison to those who do have big names, that's not necessarily saying they're the best writers. You know, they had the best marketing team. They had the best way to reach their audience. If I knew how to reach my audience, it's not a question of my writing ability. Because the people I have met already, who already read my stuff, first of all, since I'm young and black, they don't expect me to write like I do. At all. You know, it's like, oh, you write books? Yeah, you know, they kind of just, well, let me see something, you know. Then, you know, if they read or if they even just start reading a couple pages, they kind of drop their jaw like, oh shit, you really write. You know, they expect a different standard coming from somebody who looks like me. So, I shouldn't be judged by that. Yeah, I'm at the level of the people who are on the bookshelf with a name. Without a doubt. I'm varsity. If they varsity, I'm varsity. I mentioned it earlier, I deal with empowerment. That's the same thing I'm doing with my Facebook posts. So, when I pick up a book, as a reader, I wouldn't be a writer if I wasn't a reader first. As a reader, when I pick up a book, fiction or non-fiction, I'm trying to learn something. Now, I prefer fiction, but still I got that same criteria. I want to learn something, and what I'm really trying to learn something about is about me. But a good writer always writes in a manner that the audience is picking something up during the journey. So I definitely have a message in everything I write, but it's a personal message. I don't tell anybody what to believe or anything like that. I'm not that type of writer. Except believe in yourself. So I guess you kind of say that is what to believe, but yeah, it's no self-serving thing for me as an author. My whole point is empowerment, so you may not know it when you're going through the book, but the whole time you're challenging things in your reality that help, you know, beat you down and oppress you by reading these words. Yeah, as far as the message that I'm trying to get out, I mean, with that believe in yourself thing, at the back of all my books, I had this. And I wouldn't put this there if the contents of the book didn't support what it was. So there's this spot right here, and I'll read it. I'm just showing you that I ain't making it up that it's at the back of the book. It's at the back of the book. And it deals with just the idea that, you know, you're the most important person in the world. That's what I mean by empowerment. I want people to know that, yo, you are very important, you are very valuable, when society quite often tells you the opposite. But it says, let no one determine your value, nor what you should value. You are valuable. No one is more valuable than you. You are the most important person in the world. Not because God says so or anyone else, but because you believe so. And because you believe so, demand more from your reality, your world, even if that means changing it. The world will be a better place. Thank you. I throw that at the end of all my books. It's like a stamp saying, yo, what's in there is the same type of stuff that's going to be able to support, hold the weight of me ending it like that. So that's what my book is about. It's about empowerment. And I think we have the resources, we have the intelligence and the ability, it's humanity itself, to get ourselves out of this problem we got as soon as we get back into believing in our own ability. So that's what my book is about. I mean, that's really zooming out. I mean, because it is a narrative. It tells you about different things and it takes you on this journey. But if you zoom all the way out, it's saying, yo, you're a special person. And you got to understand that. So that's the message I give. You know, who can get mad at that?
Exactly. Yeah.
I listen to a lot of old soul, not neo soul. I like old soul, and I like a lot of alternative rock. But I like the 80s a lot. I don't know why I like the 80s so much, but I really do. I like a lot of 90s rock and soul too. The stuff that's coming out right now just really doesn't impress me. So yeah, you flipping through my iPod, you're gonna hear a lot of. You're gonna hear you some Hall & Oates. As far as hip hop, you mentioned Nas. I like Nas a lot. I like Mortal Technique. This is a young kid called No Wonder. He's underground. He's worth looking up. KNOWJUANDER. No Wonder. Dope. I like Pharaoh Monch. I like the MCs that play with rhythms a lot. But there's a lot of people I like. But most people I like don't get a lot of radio play. But going back to me in rapping, I'm a writer. And that whole rap page is because, and when I first got in there, this story needed to be told. A lot of these guys looked at my demeanor, looked at my Facebook pictures and my Facebook posts like, yo, this dude ain't know, he don't know nothing about rap. He ain't no thug. But yeah, it took me about 5 months to get a bunch of respect in that room. The most hardcore thug in there wouldn't battle me because we actually battled.
I remember you was tearing them down in that room. You was definitely showing them.
It's just writing. It's just another way to format writing. And I was telling him like, yo, I've been writing for a long time, whether I'm writing raps or not. I can write a poem, I can write a play, I can write a novel, I can write a rap. It's just format.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. I missed that battle. It's still up, but I missed that battle. Like, man, this nerd keep embarrassing me.
I remember I got caught up.
I like to go to places where I can have conversations with people. People are characters. You know, I'm listening to you right now, and you know, you'll pop up. Some of your characteristics will pop up in a character in something I write later. I do that all the time. So if I'm out. And I'm not always out. If I'm out, I'm in a spot where I can watch people and I can profile people and pick away things. Like, yo, yeah, that's interesting. And I don't even know I'm doing it when I'm doing it. But yeah, when I get into a big work like a novel, when you flesh it out a character, you're not pulling that stuff out of thin air. You're using the people you've met. You're using events that you've seen. You know, I mean, it's so much of that stuff. I mean, my book is officially fiction, but that book ain't fiction. It's not fiction. I mean, there's a couple things like, okay, I completely made that up, but most of it ain't fiction. So yeah, I go to places like bars where I can see people. Before I wrote Second Hands, I went to this bar in Fort Worth that I based the whole play on. Not the conversation the characters had, but the layout of the bar is a basement bar. I went to that bar maybe 3 months, constantly, to get the bar atmosphere in me before I sat down and wrote that book. You know, I still go to that bar sometimes, and I still think this is the bar is called Oswell Tavern in the play. When I go down there, I feel like, yo, I'm here. I'm in Oswell's Tavern. You know, that's where Lewis should be sitting. That's where Mr. would be sitting. You know, because that's how it worked in my mind. It's like a real place.
Like, where can we find you on Facebook?
Facebook.com.
Twitter and
/ Fistpick, F-I-S-T-P-I-C-K,
Okay.
all lowercase.
Okay, so that's Facebook.
That's Facebook. Twitter is at Evo Books, short for Evolutionary Books. EVOLBOOKS.
Okay.
And I got my publishing page on Facebook is Facebook.com/Evolutionary. The E is capitalized, books, the B is capitalized. But yeah, I encourage contact. Because especially right now, before I really find the market, I'm encouraged by those who contact me, especially reading my work, and ask me questions like, okay, I like this, you know. It made me feel like, yo, I ain't reached, 30,000 people, but those I have reached, I've impacted, and right now, when I'm not busy around the clock, doing a bunch of events, I can have intimate communication with people reading my work. You can't do that with most authors. Right now, I mean, somebody inbox me with the right type of question. You can't be like, yo, what happened next? I ain't gonna give you that. But yeah, if you inbox me concerning my work, I'm real forthcoming with information. I like having real good dialogue with my readers.
You got a good interaction with your fans.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's definitely a plus.
It's a plus for both of us. It's a plus for the fan, but for me, it helps me keep going. It's like, okay, I'm appreciating.
Exactly. I understand what you're saying, man.
So yeah, they definitely could contact me. I would love that.